just always, even at the darkest moments, there was always a piece of me that always believed in myself. Like I always kept my end goal in mind. As fucked up as I was or anything, I always knew that I could do it. I got extremely lucky. The way that the shit just fell into place for me, got lucky. But when I got going a little bit,
right?
I literally am the biggest psychopath, hardest working person in the room.
All right, the wolf is here in the wolf's den, and let me just tell you, I got the guest of all guests today. This guy's a legend, not in his own mind, but in his own time.
I wouldn't go that far. You're going to make me feel better than I am.
Man with the golden voice, Bob Menery.
Thank you, Jordan Belfort. What a pleasure. By the way, our podcast that we just did is fucking unbelievable. I got to thank you for that. It's our best one so far, so you know you're...
I know we broke some records yesterday. We were top in the world, right at the top,
24,
right?
I think.
In the whole world.
Number 2 in sports.
Not bad, right?
And it was all you.
No, honestly, you were a good team, right?
Those fucking horror stories, my degenerate audience likes a lot. So, yes.
And no, it was awesome. So, listen, guys, by the way, if you have not subscribed to his podcast, subscribe to this man's podcast. It's great. He's got great guests on, and he's a cool dude. He's almost as much of a degenerate as me, but
definitely am.
We'll find out.
I was as big as degenerate as you were, but with less money. So that's what I was.
We have to find. Okay, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. We're going to start off with something fun here, right?
Got it.
Okay, with a little Wolfie story time here.
Perfect.
I'm going to let you ask me any question about the movie. So I'm going to answer one question.
Okay.
Anything. Nothing's off limits. And then you have to answer all my questions.
I know a question I want to ask.
All right,
because I left it out of my podcast yesterday, and I was very upset. And then I said, I hope I have another opportunity to ask you this because, well, no, fuck it. Here we are. So the scene with the Lamborghini crashing, the Quaaludes, because obviously degenerate, crazy man, drugs. It interests me. It fascinates me because I'm a recovering drug addict, blah, blah, blah. So, was that scene, explain how that all happened, that scene. Tell me through that, the Lamborghini crash.
Was it true? Crash. The answer is yes, it was true.
Yes.
So we're going to do a little about an 8 to 10 minute version here for you, and then it's going to be all you,
I
right?
don't give a fuck. I can sit here all day with you.
All right, here we go. Ready? True story. So the only thing that wasn't true was that it wasn't a Lamborghini. It was actually a convertible Mercedes. Here's what happened, all right? Back in the day, Quaaludes, I don't think you really did lose. You're a little bit too before your time, right? Okay. Anyway, there was one special brand of Quaalude, the actual pharmaceutical Quaaludes. They were called Lemon 714, the holy grail of all ludes, right? So, the average lude would knock you out for 8 hours. One of these it was triple deuce, you're out of it.
These are the big bangers.
The big bangers. Okay. Ultimate euphoria, right? And they were known as being we used to call them actually leg openers. Give them to a girl, right. Bill Cosby, a.k.a. Bill Cosby, right? I never used them for that, okay? But old Bill, sorry about that, all right? Anyway, but they were just unbelievable. Right now, they disappeared, though, because they were actually legal. They were real pharmaceutical. The DEA swept in, killjoys that they are, cleaned out all the pharmacies, right? And they disappeared from circulation, these amazing Lemon 714s. Because what happened is each brand of Quaaludes, a lot of different brands, some would get you more sleepy, some would give you more euphoria. This was the one that got it just right. Ultimate euphoria, not much sleepiness, right? But you get really fucked up.
How much did they go for in the street, real quick? Sorry, I'm going to cut you off.
They started... Legally, it was 25 cents a pill.
Okay.
By the time I bought them that night, I paid $2,000 a pill.
Wow.
So here's what happened. There were all these other different types of ludes. It was Methacils from Switzerland, Paladin Burmers from Spain, Normanox from Germany. You had your Mandrex from Mexico. Each country had their own brand, right? But no one had ever gotten it as right as the people from the glorious chemist at Lemon, right? It's Lemon Pharmaceutical, right? So anyway... my drug dealer, and the best name for a drug dealer, ready? Alan Chemtob.
Perfect.
Alan Chemical Tom, we call it, right?
Love
so Alan Chemtob, right? He calls me and goes, dude, I got the holy grail of ludes. A retired pharmacist, he saved 20 of these things. He was going to take them himself, but his kid's going to college. He needs the money. He'll sell them to you for $2,000 a piece.
Wait, so for one pill, it's $2,000?
$2,000.
And how long did it last?
Well, I'll tell you. So it's supposed to last for 4 to 6 hours, but the ultimate euphoria, there's different stages to the Quaalude high. The first stage is the tingle phase, where your fingers tingle. Second phase is I think I'm going to tell you about this, is the slur phase. Then you have the drool phase, then there's unconsciousness, right? So the key is to stay in the slur into drool as long as possible. Tingles don't last, they're great, but they don't last long, right? So Chemical Top calls me, I said, he goes, do you want them? I said, do I want them?
Right.
ass.
Give me the mothership.
Fucking over, right? First thing I did, what's the extra? What's the first thing I did? Stuck my finger down my throat to vomit up any possible food particles.
Empty stomach.
Empty stomach, key, right? Enema, just for good measure, why not? But he cleaned to head to toe, right? Clean myself out. I call him Danny from the Jonah Hill character, right? Comes over, all right? He brings over the Lude's chemical top, right? All right? He says, listen, whatever you do, don't take more than one. They're really freaking powerful. Like, all right, fine. So, hands us the bottle. We're like just imagine the anticipation, right? So we're like, all right, break home and lose, right? We each take one. I have my maid bring me hot sake to dissolve the pills, right? Gasoline on the fire. We sit there, we're just waiting. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes supposed to be like full, nothing. We're like, what the fuck? We said, let's go on the treadmill to get the metabolism. So I jump on the freaking treadmill. He jumps on the freaking Stairmaster. I go on. Nothing. I'm like, they're fucking duds. Give me another one. We each take another one, right? 30 minutes later, nothing. We're like, holy shit. We look at the bottle, expired 1984. 10 years prior. We're like, oh my God, they're fucking duds. They expired. We're devastated. Like, just imagine. Like, we're expecting to have the right. We're like, shit, let's just each take another one because they're just fucked. Right? We each take another one. Nothing. An hour and a half, nothing, right? My phone rings. So a famous private investigator, Bo Dietl from New York, right? Bo was like, I need you to go to a payphone and call me. My house was bugged, right? So I'm like, oh, fuck, all right. Like, shit, damn it. It's mid-dead winter.
You knew your house was bugged?
No, he was telling me my house was bugged. That's why he said, you got to go. It turned out my house was bugged. Right? I was under investigation, right? So I said, fuck, all right. So I'm wearing like a T-shirt, right? I get in my Mercedes. I drive out of my big iron gates open. I make a left turn, go down this road called Chicken Valley Road to the old Wasp Country Club, the Brookville Country Club, Wasp Stronghold, right? I go into the country. I walk up the stairs, right? I go in there. I dial the first number. I'm like, hey, what's up, Bo? He's like, listen, the FBI is on to you. They got your house bugged. And I'm like, okay, but I don't understand. How'd they find out? And he's like, what'd you say? I'm like, and all of a sudden, I realize, I'm like, fucker, they had a delayed fuse. And all of a sudden, they all hit me at once. Boom, it like explodes in my brainstem. I'm like, timber, I'm falling over. Right? I land, I see the phone. I'm like, so my eyes are burning like hot coals. My mouth is dry as a bone. My sphincter is like tight as a drum, and I'm loving it. All right, I'm gonna get this cerebral palsy face.
And this is all in the movie too, right?
In the movie,
yeah. This is one of my favorite scenes.
Great scene is in Leo's house is when Leo's never done drugs.
Right.
So actually, Leo's says, how do I act high? And I'll show you. So I'm crawling around on the floor. He's mimicking me. His father will says, what the fuck are you guys doing? We're crawling around in his house.
Because you said this yesterday. You were doing that together. So he was trying to learn how to get high. And he was trying to replicate.
He never done drugs, right? So he's a method actor. I'm showing him, you got to, I love you, right? All right, guys, a quick word from our sponsor, Policy Genius. Listen, this is the company that gives you that extra insurance in the workplace. Gives you life insurance that allow you to shop around effortlessly, make sure you got the right deal. Works as additional coverage on top of whatever coverage you might have in the workplace already, and you can have it stand alone, all right? Policy Genius is the easy way to shop for life insurance, all right? That's not tied to your job. So that you can have it independently of your workplace. Right? In minutes, you can compare all the different quotes from top insurers to find the best price for you. All right. And by the way, they, doesn't just make it easy to get life insurance, right? They also help you find the right home and auto insurance. So it's not just life insurance anymore. It's like your one-stop shopping for all things insurance. Check it out, all right? So when you're booking at your workplace benefits, this is, this month, make sure to double-check your life insurance options, all right? And then go to policygenius.com to get quotes, and you can apply in minutes. Policy Genius, this is the easy way to compare and buy life insurance. Give this a shot. You'll be very glad you did. So
that would be the best footage. That would be the best footage I could ever get my hands on, by the way. If there was any secret cameras in that house, fucking air it ASAP.
I know. Get the play-by-play, and there he goes.
Definitely play-by-play on that one. That would be play-by-play.
Leo's crawling to the left, right?
Exactly.
So here's what happens, right? So I am now on the floor. I'm like shaking. I'm vibrating. I'm like, holy shit, Danny's in my house. He's in the same condition as me. My wife and kids are like, I'm in trouble because I was in trouble with my wife, right? So I said, I have to get home, right? So I turn over. I tried to walk. I can't stand up. Right. I could not. My legs were jelly. So I start crawling like a baby. Like, oh, my daughter crawls. I crawl. Seemed like it was a good thing. We were like kindred spirits, right? I crawl out the door and I get to the stairs. and I looked down the stairs, and I just could not negotiate. I knew if I tried to go down, I would die.
Right.
The beauty of Quaaludes, though, is they protect you from home because they turn your body into rubber. I turn myself into a barrel, and I roll down the stairs, not even a scratch, right? Yeah. So I crawl over to the car. It wasn't the Lambo with the, right? So I crawl and I get behind the steering wheel, and I say what probably 1 million or 10 million drunk men and women have said before me. God, please just get me home this one time, and I will never do this again, right?
Right.
So I start the car. All right. And I pull out I'm like a little old lady. I start driving a half a mile an hour. I'm just crawling, make the right turn. I'm crawling out down the road. I get to my house. I make a right. I punch the gate code. Magically got the gate code, right? The gate's open. I go in. I'm like, thank you, Lord. Thank you. I get out of the car. I crawl up the stairs. I go in and I crawl. My wife's like, what the fuck with Danny's? We got to take him to the hospital. He's drooling. I'm like, I can't even walk. They sit me down in a chair, right? And my daughter's in her high chair. She's drooling and having spaghetti. I'm drooling and having spaghetti together. We're like, I figured my daughter would be able to work with stroke victims when she got older. So it was an extra superpower she'd have, right? So I'm there for like 3 minutes, and all of a sudden, I had 2 bodyguards working with me at all times. Their names were Rocco and Rocco, believe it or not. 2 Rocco day, Rocco night. They were both there. All right. All of a sudden, they come running in the kitchen. They pull me up out of my seat. They drag me upstairs. Like, come on, Mr. I'm like, what the?
Right.
And they throw me in my bed. They put the covers over me. They shut the lights off, and that's that.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, well, it's a lewd guy gone wrong, whatever, right?
Right.
All right. That's that, right? So I'm there for like a minute or two, so just thinking about what's going on here. I'm like, all right, it's not so terrible. I'm floating, I'm tingling, right? All of a sudden, I sense the lights come on. The covers get pulled back. I look up, and there's 2 cops in my bedroom.
Right. I'm
like, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, they're like, Mr. Belfort, were you driving your car? I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, how did they know? Was I driving still? Could they? No, I was like, no. They didn't like that answer, right? Yeah. They pull me out of bed. They say, you're under arrest. They drag me down the stairs. They handcuff me, all right? And I'm barely walking. I get out and we turn the corner and I look at my car, fucking totaled out. Completely wrecked and totaled.
So it happened.
And I'm literally in that, and I collapse. I swear to God, to this day,
right,
I could pass a lie detector test. I do not remember. I hit 7 cars on the way home, hit into a pole, a stanchion. I don't remember. I swear I thought I made it home without a scratch. They arrest me. They take me to jail. Now, the beauty of Quaaludes is, of course, like I can't even talk, but it's not like alcohol. As soon as they wear off, you're sober. So
really?
I'm like, where am I?
So there's no hangover.
No hangover. So now I'm in the jail. It's like Mayberry RF D-type jail. It's a little tiny jail in Old Brook, right? Mm-hmm. And they asked me to piss in a jar. I'm like, well, at that point, I was on everything but LSD, basically. It was like on morphine, ludes. I mean, I said, I'm not, I said, I want to call my lawyer. I said, all right, well, go call your lawyer. So I call my lawyer. I tell him what happened. He goes, piss in the jar. It's fine. I'm like, Joe. I'm like, if I piss in the jar, I'm going to test positive for 8,000. He goes, piss in the jar. It's fine. I said, all right. So I pee in the jar, and they put the little tab, like, oh, we see you don't do acid. Like, everything else is right. All right. Anyway, they say, well, that's it. And I say, well, fuck it. You know, I'm going to get bailed out. And they're like, oh, you can't get bailed out. It's true. You go into the central booking to the tombs, like where all the, the real criminals, right. Yeah. All right. And I'm like, oh, fuck. So it's like now like 11:45 at night. I'm saying, I'm going to jail. All of a sudden, some old man in a bathrobe comes into the police station. He goes, he was like a wandering Alzheimer's victim. He goes, is Jordan Belfort? I'm like, yeah. He goes, I'm Judge Stevens. You're bailed out. My lawyer got some corrupt judge out of bed. So they bail me out. I get out. I said, Joe, I'm fucked. You had me peeing in the glass. He goes, really? Are you fucked? I said, yeah. I tested positive. Everything. He goes, really? Did they catch you in the car? I'm like, no. He goes, how can they prove you didn't take this stuff when you were home?
You got to love lawyers, right? You got to fucking love lawyers.
Not illegal to have drugs in your system. Loophole.
I see.
If they don't catch you behind the wheel, I could have theoretically taken them all a day ago or right then and there. Boom, and I get away with it.
Was there any surveillance of you driving at the country?
What happened was I actually hit someone.
Right.
Another car. I didn't,
hurt. What was the total damage?
Oh, I had to pay someone like $90,000 to one woman. Yeah.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's my lose. The only thing that's not true.
Yeah.
Is the fact that it was a Mercedes and not a Lambo.
Lamborghini.
And with that, let's get into your derelict.
I can't compete with that shit.
I know, but here's the thing, buddy, okay? Yeah. You are a massive, amazing comeback story, all right? Mm-hmm. You're known for having this unbelievable voice, right?
Yes.
Can we play a clip, by the way?
Whatever you want to play,
can we get a clip up of him? It's worth, you guys, really, you have to see his stuff and follow him because his stuff is unbelievable. It's the funniest shit. Okay, watch this.
For the win against Oklahoma. It is good.
My goodness, Texas wins. It is one thing to get beat, but it's another thing to get beat by a man with the last name Dicker. And boy, oh boy, I got a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot of dick signs hanging outside of dorm rooms in Texas. Hell, we might even see a couple dicks hanging out the windows in Texas because this man just upset Oklahoma. Well, and Peter, obviously we're on the air right now, so we got to be careful, but I'm just going to say it. You know his last name's Dicker? Well, he's going to be able to shove that thing inside of any girl he wants on the Texas campus because this man has done it. Texas stuns Oklahoma. Well, Peter, we're going to keep our expectations to a minimum based on his skin color. Troy Apka on the 40. It begins right now. Holy fucking sugar titty motherfucking cutbag. Unbelievable as Troy Apka runs a 4.35. Peter, who would have thunk it as the crowd is on their feet going wild for Troy Apka. I just saw a pair of fake titties right after he crossed the finish line. That's how excited this crowd is right now. So that was, I remember that one. I recorded that one in my mother's bedroom. I really did. When I moved home at 28 years old. That's how I fucking created that.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
All right, so number one.
Yeah.
How'd you come up with this idea? How did it start?
So I always had this voice. I had this very good sports announcing, sportscasting voice. And what I would do is I learned about it in high school. First memory I have of it is I remember sitting next to my buddy in a car, and we had the windows down. We'd skip seventh period, and there was this old lady, like 90 years old, sitting next to us in the car on the right. And I rolled down the window and I was like, well, Cocoa Crisp or something fucking stupid and said something in a broadcaster voice. And that's the first time I'm like, whoa, I have a pretty good broadcaster voice. And then just since high school up until now, I've just kind of always used this weird little voice. You know, my goal was always to be an actor, comedian. I just was very not focused and kind of all over the place. And
right.
Yeah, so.
Do you ever think about being an actual sportscaster?
There's not enough money in it.
No, not money.
No,
Huh?
there's not enough money in it. There's more money in this shit now. You can kind of do it yourself. I mean, I go work for fucking ESPN. I go, fuck it. Like, no. And I don't want, like, I don't want, like you, I don't want to be owned by anybody.
Right.
You know, I want to fucking do it myself. I don't like anybody to tell me what to do, you know? And,
So was there like a moment in time? Well, first of all, before you became famous though, right? You were fucking disaster like me, right? Tell me what happened.
So I came out to LA to be an actor comedian. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do it. After high school, didn't go to college. Went to New York Film Academy to study acting for like fucking 3 weeks, and people started dressing up as like Peter Pan and shit. I'm like, I'm fucking out of here. I don't want to do this shit. So ended up saying, you know what? Fuck it. I'm moving to LA. I'm going to be an actor comedian. I'm going to do this. So I moved to LA. Ended up. First couple weeks go by, I had a little money from mom and dad they gave me.
Right.
That went away fast, whatever. I got to get a job. Fuck. So I go to the local country club, Wilshire Country Club, and I go get a job, caddying, a caddy for caddying.
Right.
So long story short, I was caddying for 4 years, and I went to LA for 4 years to try and be an actor comedian for 4 years. I didn't do one audition for 4 years. I didn't do one comedy show for 4 years. I did absolutely nothing. I was
caddied.
I was caddying. I was content making $200 a day.
Right.
I kind of like lost myself in a sense. I lost the desire to want to, perform and do all that shit. And I kind of got into, I got heavy into cocaine, like very, very heavy into it.
Let's talk about that. Define heavy. What was like the average daily consumption?
I would be like, Bob, you have a 7:15 loop caddy job. And I'd be like, all right, cool. Give me 1 second. I've used the bathroom. All right, here we go. Carrying 2 rich people's golf bags, like every day. And I would do that.
How much was the average daily consumption?
I don't.
Ballpark. A gram a day?
Well, I know that I made probably $200 a day, and I spent $350 on coke every day.
So 8 bowl a day. It sounds like a fair consumption.
A lot. And it just became a point where I was just fucking miserable. And then I, kind of more time went by. Towards the end is when it kind of gets interesting, how kind of my life, whatever. So I had no more money to stay in an apartment. I was, whatever. So I ended up, a member at the club gave me a Jeep Wrangler. And so I ended up using that, because I didn't have a place to live, as a fucking house, as a home I slept in a car for 2 months. Wow. So my routine was, and this was 2.5 years ago. So my routine was I would drive around the neighborhoods, look for a good place to park that I wouldn't be noticed. I would have tinted windows. Like, I had the Jeep, thank God, was tinted. I would find a nice neighborhood. I would park. and I'd have a blanket, pillow all set up, and I'd go to bed. I got a membership at the YMCA for $35 a month. I would shower in the morning. And the good news about when you sleep in a car, you have to be up early. You can't sleep in. You can't like sleep in. You're up. Sun's up. People walking by like fucking running laps around the neighborhood. And I would wake up, go to the Y, shower, go to the caddy yard. Wasn't having much success getting jobs there because somebody didn't like me, I don't think. And so I wasn't getting looped. So I'd wait in the caddy yard for 6 hours a day.
What year is this now?
This was, I think, 2.5 years ago.
Wow.
3 years ago.
2017, yeah.
Yeah. I think the drugs have something to do with the memory too. I think my fucking memory is awful. I can't remember, but I can't remember this story. So anyway, I'm sleeping in the car. 2 months go by, and finally, my buddy Ernie Giapapis, because I used to always go out with my buddies for my sports broadcasting voice. I used to find a group of people. This is how I used to this is my audition in my comedy training. I would walk up to a group of say you four are out having drinks. And you're in a group.
Right.
And I'd be having a drink with my buddy. We'd just be chilling. And something my body would pull me to try and show my voice to them. And I'd be all fucked up on drugs and whatever. So I'd walk right up to him and be like, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, tonight on ESPN. How you doing? Bob Menery, good to see you. Nice to meet you. Bob Menery, how are you, sir? Whatever. And they'd be like, what?
You really have a great voice. You really do.
Voice of Buffalo Wild Wings now, by the way. So it's number one.
What?
Buffalo Wild Wings.
I love it.
Number one commercial, I think, on TV right now.
Awesome.
But after this podcast, probably not. But so yeah, I used to go up and just do that. And people would be like, what do you do? And I always used to make up, like, well, I'm the NBC announcer for the Tennessee Titans. On the Jacksonville, I would just make up things. Like I was fucking off my rocker, blacked out, fucking whatever. So anyways, back to the story. I'm sleeping in the car finally. My buddies always used to be like, where do you live, dude? I'm like, like that apartment building over there. And they it has yellow caution tape around it. What are you talking about? That's fucking, you don't live there. Whatever. So I'm like, never mind. Sorry, wrong building. So finally one day I'm sleeping in the back of the car. And, well, actually there was one moment I want to tell you real quick. Yeah. Crazy thing was I was in the back sleeping. It's 3 a.m. All of a sudden my door fucking like getting, that was the lowest point ever. It was like getting, what do they call it? Jimmy or something like that, right? So this guy was trying to break in my car and I'm just sitting there like, what the fuck? So I look over to my left. It was in Sherman Oaks. I look over to my left, opens the door. It's this fucking big ass motherfucker, like just standing there trying to break in. And I remember it was like a moment I'll never forget. We both made eye contact with each other. And it was just like, we were both so defeated. And we were just like, what are you doing? And he was like, what are you doing? And it was just like,
wow.
He shut the door and I was like, do I call the cops? But I'm like, no, I'm just going back to bed, you know? And so anyways, I'm sleeping in the car one day and I had just taken a line of crystal meth by mistake. I thought it was blow, and it was crystal meth.
I've had that same experience.
Yeah, it's fucking craziest thing. So I think I get all paranoid. I'm thinking people are like chasing me, whatever, blah blah blah. So all of a sudden, my buddy pulls up next to me in the car. This is crazy. I owe this motherfucker Ernie Giapapis my life. He pulls up next to me in the car. And he rolls down the window and he's like, or knocks on the window. And I'm like, oh, what's going on? Like, fucking whatever.
I just left my apartment.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you doing? Knock before you come in, right? So I end up being like, what's up? Like embarrassed, like, you know. And he's like, dude, we all know you're sleeping in the car. You're going home. So this is after 4 years. So I'm like, I get emotional talking about it. But
please.
Oh yeah. So after,
buddy, I've been,
it's better for numbers. But so for
the same spot as you, I get it.
Yeah. So after 4 years, this was the last day I was in Los Angeles. So he finds me in the car and he goes, you're going home. I'm calling your parents and we're getting you a plane ticket home. So I'm like, whatever, fine. Get me the fuck out of here. You're right. It's time to go. Picks up the phone. Actually called my brother and my sister. I don't think they answered. And then one of my family members picked up and they booked me a flight. And I had my Jeep Wrangler there. And he said, well, what do you want to do with the car? I said, just fucking leave it. It was worth $10,000. Left it on the side of the road. Just said, done. Like, whatever. So then ended up
Where'd you go back to? You went home to where? What was
Boston, but I went to the airport. But it was a crazy moment too. I was at the airport sitting there. I remember I was so fucked up, dude. Going through security, high on crystal meth is and it was nuts.
I get it.
So fucking go through security, end up sitting in the chair. I like smelled like shit. It was like just bad. All of a sudden I fall asleep and something wakes me up. It's like I hear, Robert Menery, like we're looking for you. Basically that call they make when they're shutting the door for the plane, you know.
Sure, yeah.
So I'm like, something woke me up, get on the plane. Boom. Now I'm going back to Boston. Flying back to Boston at 28 years old after trying to be a caddy for LA. I mean, trying to be an actor comedian for LA in 4 years. Thinking about that trip on the way home, I was like, wow, like what the fuck just happened in my life? So get home. My parents just downsized to a 2-bedroom apartment, so they were thrilled to have their 28-year-old son fucking come home. And our beds were, we'll get to it later why, but our bedrooms were here and here. Very, very small place they live. So I knock on the door. My parents are the best in the world, very supportive. They were like, come on in, welcome me with open arms, took care of me.
It's amazing.
So 3 days go by after being home in Boston. My buddy, my brother-in-law picks me up. He says, hey, you got to get a job. So I'm like, all right. So I went to Leary's liquor store, put in my application, $11 an hour. Hi, I'm Bob Menery. I'd like to work here. $11 an hour. Whatever. Leave.
Liquor store might not be the best place.
No shit, exactly, right? It's the worst place to go, exactly. So my buddy Mike Constantino calls me and he goes, hey, you want to be in a music video tonight? I'm shooting this thing. He's got like 9,000 followers on YouTube. You want to be an extra in it? I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? Go to this is where my life changed. This is the viral moment out of fucking nowhere. So go to this music video shoot with Mike. You see like my fingernail in the fucking video somewhere. You know, I was like in the background, fucking cracked out probably. I go into this room at 2 a.m. after they're done shooting. And I go and sit down, and there's 2 people in the room. This girl that I never met before, and this guy that I never met before. Another man who changed my life, David Justin. So I walk in, it's 2 a.m, I'm all fucked up. What do I do that I just told you? I do my little fucking shtick. Bob Menery, ESPN. Hi, everybody. Wow, what a night it's going to be. Dude, right?
Everyone starts cracking.
So what does he do? He took out his phone. Now, everybody used to take out their phones when I used to do this, but it never went anywhere.
Right.
But that day it did. And this is after being home for 3 days only.
And were you sober at this point?
No. Fuck no. I was not sober. I got sober later. After
Let's go. So right. So
yeah.
So he videotapes you, right?
So he takes out the thing and videotapes me. And I'm like, all right, whatever. So I go to bed. I didn't think of it. I just did like a shtick. He just taped it, whatever. I go to bed. So the next morning, I wake up and it's like, my phone's like, bling, 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 bling. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, who died? What's going on here? So I look at it and they're like, yo, dude, you're on the internet right now. I'm like, what? The internet? I don't even know what the fuck. It's like, all right. Blah, blah, blah. So Bro Bible, I guess, is the thing that picked it up. And it was like, why isn't this guy a sports broadcaster? And basically, it was like #1 on Reddit. My clip went fucking viral. And so I'm just like, all right, what just happened? I had a golf tournament that day with a guy who was supposed to kind of mentor me in life, my dad's friend, who like my dad begged to just like take out my son and fucking please help him.
Right.
His name was Don Stanley, great guy. Ended up going to the golf tournament. He's like, I paid $2,500 for this entry. Let's take this golf tournament seriously. And I'm like, I can, but I think something's happening in my life right now. My phone won't stop ringing, whatever. He's like, put your fucking phone away. I put my phone away in the car. He ends up, we end up going play golf. We come in second place. I come back, and there's an article in USA Today. You can find it. It says, when the moment I went viral, I had 316 missed calls on my phone. Agents, managers, voiceover people, and again, no idea what to do. Next day, I do another clip. It's kind of the same thing. Had kind of the exact same success. I did it at my parents' house, whatever. I meet a guy named Brandon Meck, who was one of my first managers. He said, have you ever heard of like Instagram or Facebook or any of this stuff? I'm like, Facebook I use a little bit, but Instagram, I don't know what it is. Because I have like 2.1 million followers right now. Never like bought any, never, done anything. So went from 0 to 2.1 million in 2.5 years.
Right.
And yeah, so that's basically.
What an amazing, keep moving on. This is amazing. I mean, and not only is it amazing, but it's inspirational. And you're you're really a good dude, by the way.
Appreciate that.
And I got to tell you, I didn't really know you until just now.
So normally it's just 12-year-old boys. That's it right now. They just laugh at dick jokes. That's it. That's it. It's only fucking 13-year-olds and 14-year-olds. That's it.
You're an awesome dude. You really are. And there's so many people, by the way, that are watching this right now. I bet that are going to be watching it. It was taped, right?
It was the first time I ever told it. Pretty much like the real.
It's so inspirational because I saw a lot of myself, and even though I had risen higher, I felt just as low.
Right.
I did, and ended up in jail and stuff. And there's so much you have to offer people. But let's just keep going because I want to slow this down because it's amazing.
Yeah.
So what'd you do? So the calls are coming in.
Calls are coming in. What's
the next step?
Next step is this. So I make another clip the next day. It had the same success. Kind of #1 on Reddit. Kind of went crazy. Why is it a Sportscaster? I started an Instagram account. And I remember being no idea what I'm doing, but I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. What's that shtick I always did? Imagine if we could create a shtick what sports announcers want to say but can't.
Brilliant.
So I'm like, all right. We got something here. So I started off with video game glitches. That was one of my first clips because I was playing video games a lot because I had nothing else to fucking do. So my favorite things, I always got a kick out of glitches. You know what a glitch is?
Yeah.
The game malfunctions.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like the other day I'm playing Madden and Deion Lewis running into the end zone, but he has no fucking head because there's a Madden glitch. So his head's missing. I'm like, why is the announcer in the video game saying Deion Lewis just scored a touchdown, but he has no fucking head? Let's acknowledge it. So I just brought awareness to the situation that he had no head. So started video game glitches, whatever. And I remember I got to like 6,000 followers. And I'm like, I'm fucking onto something. I'm like, I don't know why. I'm like, I believe in this. I'm whatever. And
Plus, it's your passion,
and it's
too,
my
right?
passion.
You loved it. You're having fun, right?
Yeah. Oh, and my parents for the first 3 months were like, you know how you had that mental institution thing you talked about? I was very close to going there because again, bedrooms very close next to each other.
Oh, well, you said what was the reason you said why they were next to each other?
Well, they downsized to a 2-bedroom apartment.
Ah, okay, got it.
And with they weren't assuming their fucking 28-year-old crackhead son would come home and fucking just raid the party. But it was funny because I remember doing my clips, and because you're not making any money at this point. Like, I'm just like, it just started.
But you're doing it the right way, though. You're doing it organically.
I fucking have no idea. I still this fucking day sometimes have no idea what I'm doing. But
I get it.
But the funny part was my parents and mother are sitting there watching TV, whatever, and I'm like, I pop my head out at 10. I'm like, Mom, Dad, Vinatieri just missed a field goal. I have to do this clip. Can you guys keep it down for a minute? I'm 28 years old, dude. 28 years old and just came home after 4 years as a fucking crackhead, basically. And they're just like, oh my God. But the cool thing was my parents were always like cool about it. And would go in the room, shut the door, and I can just only imagine how they looked at each other because then they would be like, well, Vinatieri, wide right. Oh my fucking God, blah, blah, blah. And screaming like a psycho. Neighbors, my dad's like, keep it down. Like Eileen's next door. She's a nice lady. So I'm like, Christ. So basically, kept going. I kept building my product. Because here's the deal. To be honest with you, nobody on planet Earth is doing what I'm doing. Nobody has done, at least, I don't think anybody. I've never seen anybody to this day that is doing like an R-rated, because my end goal is to build the first ever R-rated sports network. And that's what we're working on right now.
I like that.
You have ESPN, whatever, but the way the world's kind of transitioning into the Barstool era, my kind of stuff's working. People,
I like it.
So I lost my train of thought. Fuck.
No, anyway, you were saying so you were doing this stuff and you're yelling, Eileen's freaking out.
Yeah, Eileen's
right?
freaking out.
But
so started to grow, a little more. I had
fucking Eileen.
Yeah. I tell you what, that lady does not like me still. She doesn't give a fuck about my success at all. I kept her up countless nights. But basically then kept growing. And the big clip for me was I started to get a little recognition. I was probably like 50,000 followers. Okay. So it was like, so a little bit of people knew me, but that 50,000 is fucking nothing, right?
Right.
But I was like, let's do something that would go really viral. I'm like, how can we do this? I went in my little laboratory in my parents' room and was like, what would happen if a sports announcer fucks up on the air and we make it actually not like a parody thing, make it actually seem like he really fucked up in the air. So there was this clip where this college guy takes a snap, rolls to the left side, leaps into the end zone, and I'm like, leaps over those pussies or something like that. And I'm like, oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, I am so sorry. And I made it seem believable, like it was a real clip. And the internet went fucking crazy. Everybody was like, Snoop Dogg, everybody fell for it. And it was like, sports announcer fired on the air, boom. And then I kind of had it all kind of come back to my page and blah, blah, blah.
I get it.
But to this day now, I still have people be like, dude, I'm so sorry you lost your job. I'm like, no, not really. But I remember a cool thing that is actually happening now is my brother-in-law said to me in the kitchen one day, he goes, I think there's going to be a moment one day maybe. He said, imagine how cool a moment it would be if after teams are done playing in their after they're done playing their game, they go to the locker room and they're pulling up your clips to listen to. And they're hoping to not be the shitbag titty fuck of the week. And they're not, and I was just like, get the fuck out of here. That's never going to happen. And
happens now.
It happened.
Yeah.
So it's been a fucking pretty cool journey. But the thing is, my videos take me only literally 6 minutes to do. I don't fucking prepare. Before I just do them. But what I spent a majority of my time on, which was the most important thing, was just building relationships. Because I knew that I would need, it's the most important thing. I DM'd every athlete on planet Earth. Everybody in the world. I made sure that whatever. And to be honest with you, not to brag or anything, I have all these guys now that I have access to because of how hard I worked it. It is embarrassing though when you go like, I mean, I forget who it was, like even Saquon Barkley, you know, go up to Saquon and the first time we meet him, like, hey bro, what's going on? And he finally takes my Instagram and then he clicks the message tab and he sees 700 messages from me over the times, over like a psycho stalker. And I'm like, just ignore that, delete it. So
there's a problem with my phone. It's kept repeating itself, right?
Yeah. So that's basically it. I mean, that's my crazy story.
All right. So first of all, I assume your parents still around, right?
My parents are still around. Yeah.
How proud are they?
They gotta think of it.
They gotta be really proud, though.
They're proud, of course. Yeah, I think they are.
I mean, I'm sure they are, right?
Yeah, they. It's in my throat. Sorry. Yeah, they're very proud. I mean, my mom doesn't know what to do with it. She thinks it's cool. But yeah. So I mean, still a lot of work to go. I mean, I'm doing good. I'm on the right track. But I mean, I believe I'm like 5% of where I need to be. You know.
One of the things that you said that I could relate to personally is like, you know, you said you got choked up, right, when you were telling the story. I mean, I get choked up when I tell a story about when I was in jail and, you know, what was my why? Like, how did I keep going at this like terrible time, right? And for me, it was my children. Mm-hmm. Like I'd close my eyes and I'd imagine the faces of my children. I'd let them down so badly, and like I would do anything because I went to jail and I started teaching myself to write in jail. I was like, how'd you stay positive like that? Because it was something bigger than me. Was there anything in terms of like, you know, you had obviously your own will to come back. Was there anything else on your mind beyond that? Or was there simply your own resilience? Or was there something else you were doing for any other like reasons why you because listen, a lot of people get to what we both got and they don't come back. Mm-hmm. You're the exception. I'm the exception. A lot of people don't come back. Many do. Mm-hmm. But was there anything going on in you that just drove, you said, I'm not
I just always believed, even at the darkest moments, there was always a piece of me that always believed in myself. Like I always kept my end goal in mind. As fucked up as I was or anything, I always knew that I could do it. Regardless of the most, like I never just ever want, and there are times you're so down out you want to quit. But like, I mean, I was at the point where I didn't even know what was going on. I got extremely lucky. The way that the shit just fell into place for me, got lucky. But when I got going a little bit,
right?
I literally am the biggest psychopath, hardest working person in the room. You put me in any fucking room, I'm the hardest working guy there is. I am working 24 hours a day. You know, and obviously I never want to go back to where I was.
Right.
And I love what I do. I can say that I love waking up in the morning and fucking reaching so many people now in this fucked up world with the ability that we have through digital social media and just make them laugh, you know? It's
one of the things that, you know, when you say you were lucky, you know, luck is like hard work meeting opportunity. Mm-hmm. Like you did the work though. Like there's a lot of people out
but
there.
I did the work after. That's why.
How much did you do before? You say I don't think it was luck. In other words, you pay your dues. You know what I'm saying? How many times you say you did it and nothing happened? All of a sudden, it happened.
Well, that's why I think I'm the one case where it was really lucky because I wasn't really working that actively towards the goal that I had, and I got lucky. I can be the first one to say it. I got lucky. I really did. Like it's like hard work meets whatever. I got fucking lucky.
Right.
You know?
Well, no, you put yourself in a position
I put myself in a fucking car where somebody found me. You can't get any luckier than that. I have to disagree.
That's fine. Yeah.
I will say I really got extremely lucky. Like I fucking was found in a car, brought home in the right exact perfect moment where the guy takes out the phone. But I'll tell you what happened. After I got lucky, that's when the hard work kicked in. That's when it was like, everything my switch went off and I said, fucking nobody's beating me. I'm going for fucking gold. I just fucking went nuts, you know? And I've lost a lot of relationships because of my fucking work.
Let me try this one on for size, right? So I hear what you're saying, right? But how many people do you think were sleeping in their cars and their friends came and got them and brought them to their home to their loving parents. And you know what they did? They fucking ran right back out. So, you know, in other words, yeah, of course there's luck, there's randomness to things. But you know what? You deserve, I believe that we live in a world where you can create success and you work your ass off, especially after you got the break. You saw that, right? And then you really worked your ass off, right?
Well, I'll take it.
Take it, right?
I'm fucking taking it.
When did you get sober? Because you say you kept doing drugs.
So again, I don't have an exact. I don't exactly.
Well, are you sober or do you?
I still like to drink. Like I like to drink.
Me too.
I'm not to the point where like I play it off more too on my shit. Like because you know I have a wild crowd and call you want to kind of. I
I'm just not a big
I like to
drinker.
drink. Just the big thing for me was the cocaine.
Me too.
And I am just completely out of that, and have been completely out of the game for. I mean, a while, like since like probably just after coming back to LA.
I had to use a blow pop, by the way, because it was a safety syringe. I used a blow pop. I hit a vein. Next thing I'm lying on the floor. I'm like in Jackson Memorial Hospital.
You
I'm
think?
Like drooling, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, I got to go. My wife is there. My friends are there. So I start stumbling back in.